Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rob, this is RH Midwest Comics, and I haven't done one of these in a couple months. This is a brand new price analysis, and the book that I chose is Tales of Suspense, number 39, first appearance of Iron Man, one of the founding members of the Avengers. So, I've done many of these before. The last one I did, the last new one, was Fantastic Four number 1, and I've done quite a few now total, probably, I don't know, 7 or 8, and I've started doing updates as well, so I'll put a few books together that I've done previously, and it's easy to do the updates because you're only adding on, 1 or 2 months at a time to the data, but when I do a brand new book, it's crunching a whole bunch of data, and what I do is I go back all the way to the beginning of 2020, and the reason I do that is because I want to look at pricing from prior to the COVID boom when things went absolutely crazy. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the individual grades, and then we're going to look at an overall trend when you combine all the grades and what the sales prices look like from, again, 2020, January of 2020, all the way up to the end of July. We're in August now, so I take all the data up through the end of July. And what I do is I look for sales that have happened either July or June, or both, right? If it's prior to June, I don't consider that grade in the data because, let's face it, things are changing so quickly these days. They always have. But, so I'm okay going back 2 months, back to June. If a sale hasn't happened in July, but it happened in June, I'll count it. But prior to that, I won't count those grades. So, so anything that's happened June or July, I count it. When I do the update next time, I'll include August or, August and September, depending on what month I do the update. But anyway, that's how I do it. And where do I get my data? I get it from GP Analysis. So GP is really good. Here it is. And what I've done is I've looked at all the books. Well, I've opened up all the graphs here that had a sale in either June or July. So you can see the first one is an 8.5. Had a sale in June of 2023. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the 8.5 as I go through the analysis. The 8.0 as well, and all these trends are gonna look similar, right? You guys are familiar with it. Big up during COVID, and then coming back down. You can see 8.0 huge corrections. 8.5 is a little different. You can see that. That's why we're gonna talk a little bit more about it, because a little bit of an anomaly here when you get into those higher grades. It had a really big sale recently. The 7.0, same kind of trend. 6.5, yep, big drops, and so on and so forth. So I go all the way down to a 1.8 because when you go below a 1.8, there aren't any recent sales as of June or July. So everything from a 1.8 all the way up to an 8.5. There are some grades in between that didn't have sales. So here's what my data spreadsheet looks like, just to give you guys an inside look. Okay, so here it is. All I do is I use good old Excel, and you can see here are all the grades, 9.8 all the way down to 1.0. I guess I could add 0.5 in here, depending on what book it is. But the only lines you'll see data for are the grades that, again, had sales in either June or July. So you can see, right, everything down to a 1.8, but not every grade in between had a sale in those months. And then what happens when there's no sale in a particular month? Well, I just carry over the sale from the previous month because that's how you maintain an average. So you can see here the 8.5 in January 21 had a sale for $33,600, but it didn't have another sale until April of 21. So I just copied that those numbers over. So yeah, I'm sharing with you all my data here. No secrets. It's important to look at things. And again, right, I have the average of the grades, so the average sale price, and then I do an analysis of what it looks like without the 8.5 as well. So let's get into it. Let's start looking at what the trends have been like for all these grades combined. Okay, so let's get into it. Here is our chart. What we're going to do is we're going to go all the way back to January of 2020. That's where the trend is going to start. This is going to be the average sale price of all those grades, right? 10 different grades between a 1.8 and an 8.5 because those are the ones that have sold recently. So that's how we have to do the comparison. So what did the average sale price look like of all those grades back in January 2020? So over 3 years ago. Well, it looked like this, $11,308. And then we know what happens after that. I'm going to take this trend, I'm going to go up to the high point, which was right during the madness of the COVID boom. So we know what happens, right? Slow increases, and then as people start using their money from staying at home during COVID, and then some people using some extra money that they're getting from the government, the prices skyrocket, and we go all the way up to a high point in March of 2022, and that price is now $36,129. Remember, average sale price of all grades combined. Increase of over 200%, 219%. So no different than the other ones, right? Every big key did this. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look and see what happened from there on out. We know there was a correction. Every big book that had these huge spikes had big corrections as well. So did Tales of Suspense 39 do the same thing? Well, here we go. So from the high point in March of 22 to the end of 2022, the average price dropped to $23,314, a drop of 35%. Huge, right? Looked like it was stabilizing a little bit at the end of 2022, right? If you want to believe 3 data points make a trend, maybe. So what happens now as we go from 2022 to present date, or end of July? Close enough. Well, this is what it looks like. Big decreases, and then kind of evens out at the end of July. Average price drops to $19,967, so just below $20,000. So another drop of 14%. All right, so that's what it looks like. Very interesting because, you know, a lot of people are saying, hey, things are kind of stabilizing, slowing down. And when you look at this chart, you might think the past few months, yeah, this looks like things are stabilizing, that we've hit the bottom. Things are just kind of bouncing up and down a little bit. So this trend looks very similar to the other price analysis that I've done, but here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you what the chart looks like without the 8.5, and the reason is because that 8.5 was a huge sale, and it really changes the way the average sold prices look like, and it changes the graph as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take every single grade except the 8.5, and I'm going to show you what it looks like, okay? So let's do that. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit quicker through this chart because the trend is the same. It's just what happens near the end, right, that I want to show you guys. So average price, $9,320. So the average price is going to be a little bit less because we don't have those 8.5 sales in there. But remember, this is everything from a 1.8 to an 8.0, so there are 9 different grades in there that we're using in this data as opposed to 10 that we had on the other chart because we were including the 8.5. So what happens? Let's cut to the chase. We know it gets to a high point. Same month, March of 2022, goes up to $29,000, again, up over 200%. Then we know what happens after, right? As we go to the end of 2022, big correction, goes down by 32%. Now, this is what I want to show you. This is a little bit different than what the data look like on the other slide when you include the 8.5. Because once we take out that 8.5, which really skews the data, skew might be the wrong word, right? But really changes the average sale price, changes the trend as well. This is what it looks like now as we go from the end of 2022 to everything that's been sold this year so far in 2023. You can see just a constant drop month after month after month. Average drops to $14,519, down another 27%. So it's different, right? And when you look at both of them together, right, here's all the data with the 8.5, here's all the data without the 8.5. Look at the difference, right? The chart on the left, it looks like things are stabilizing. The chart on the right, when you take out the 8.5, it's not stabilizing. The correction might be slowing down, but it's not hit its floor, right? So The reason I wanted to show it both ways is because you can look at data a million different ways, right? You can look at each individual grade. You look at you can cherry pick. Just look at the grades that are increasing. Just look at the grades that are decreasing. There are a lot of ways to look at data, so I wanted to show it to you guys both ways. There are many people out there that have been saying things have stabilized and we've hit the bottom, but my opinion is, at least on this book, we have not, because every single grade you can see here on the right hand side shows that this book has not hit the bottom. It keeps going down. Yes, that 8.5 was a big sale. It was significantly higher than the last 8.5, and when you carry that average across, right, it makes things look a little different, which is why the chart on the left looked more like it was stabilizing. So that's all I've got today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the analysis helps you decide whether or not, you want to make a purchase or sell something, or you're just interested in seeing how things are doing, right? I think most of us are kind of holding pat, but there are people out there. I mean, somebody's buying these books. Every single auction that you're in, those books are selling to someone. But unfortunately, people are going to have a hard time selling them for a higher price, at least anytime soon. But so if you're in the hobby to do that, you may not be able to get a lot of money out of it. I think if you're in it for the long haul and you're just collecting for the sake of collecting and enjoying the book you have, you don't care what the price is doing, then you're going to be happy any way you look at it. But that's it. I'm going to do more of these. I think I have enough Silver Age and Bronze Age analysis now to keep doing updates on just, maybe I'll do it based on those books, right? I'll do a Silver Age update and a Bronze Age update, and I'll do multiple books at once. And then I've still got some new books I'm going to do, so send me some suggestions if you want to see some other books that I haven't done yet. And I'm looking forward to doing the updates on these as the months go by to see if the trend continues. All right, hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you have comments. Love chatting with everyone. Until next time, have a great day.